This is The Weekly on ClickOrlando.com with Justin Warmoth.
Good morning, I'm Justin Warmoth. Career and technical education used to be thought of in a very narrow way, an alternative to high schoolers who weren't going to college, but that perception is changing. Dozens of industries, from manufacturing to healthcare, are in desperate need for employees, and Orange Technical College is playing a big role in getting students ready for the workforce. Here's part one of my conversation with Orange County Deputy Superintendent Maria Vasquez and Associate Superintendent of Career and Technical Education, Melanie Stefanowicz.
We started off 2022 with incredible hopes that it would be a normal year. And what we have found is that we continue to experience challenges due to the pandemic. And so our focus really has been first and foremost on a safe learning and working environment, making sure that our teachers have the tools and the resources to be able to help our students bridge some of that learning loss that took place over the last 18 months. Additionally, we are working on reimagining our schools. The pandemic has created a wonderful opportunity for us to rethink how we use time, resources, and space to increase the pathways that are available to our students. It's also given us an opportunity to collaborate on a deeper level with our partners in order to be able to provide the very best to our students. And so that, in a nutshell, is what we're looking at in 2022.
I'm curious, Melanie, if some of the labor shortages that we've seen over the last 18 months or so, how those have been played a role in what students are focused on with their education.
So the labor shortages we've seen in the last 18 months have really been exacerbated by the pandemic. Those of us watching the labor market closely saw the challenges coming with the retirement of the baby boomers, right? And so an example I'll give you is airframe and power plant mechanics. You know, we can't fly our planes unless we have somebody to do the break fix for them, right? We were already facing sharp declines in critical shortages in that field, as well as in manufacturing, quite honestly, that have been compounded and exacerbated by the pandemic and the early retirements. So we take a look at that information that's coming through the labor market channels, the partnership and the DEO. And we're starting to say, where can we augment and how can we augment providing access to those types of educational opportunities in career and technical education for our students? And so how do we broaden the reach of advanced manufacturing programs so more students have access to and can learn about those types of careers? Same with aviation and space, same with healthcare, finance, those industries that are really growing in need despite the pandemic, quite frankly.
And so how are you doing that? What have you figured out and best ways to approach that?
So under Dr. Vasquez's leadership, we held a series of roundtables by industry sector between October and December. And we have listened very hard to the technical skills and the soft skills or power skills that industry is looking for from our students. Since then, we've had several follow-up meetings that we're turning into monthly advisory councils, basically, to determine what are the types of educational experiences that we can provide students beginning at an earlier age, looking at 4th, 5th grade, middle school, so we can get students out into industry alongside industry to see what the careers are and what those fields look like. In addition to that, and I'll save some of this for Dr. Vasquez around the high school initiatives, but we're looking at some different ways of offering internships where students can, maybe students who haven't had a chance to take CTE courses yet can engage in skills-based training over the summer, kind of a truncated, shorter training model to get them the technical skills needed to go to work immediately, say in an advanced manufacturing firm, where they can get a paid internship that could be year round. And then we can start to wrap the educational model in advanced manufacturing around that internship. Dr. V?
Yes, we're very excited about what the opportunities are going to be available to all of our students. And we're looking at a continuum that will allow for students at the elementary, middle, and high school to really gain an understanding and awareness of what is available through career and technical education, and as well as look at various fields that are in high demand. Additionally, we are looking at how we can use time to provide more opportunities for our students to get that hands-on learning. And our community has spoken loud and clear that they want to partner with us. They want to have our students in their businesses learning side by side in order to improve not only their workforce, but also the economy within our community. And so we are very excited about the work that we hope to be able to engage with starting in August with our business partners and leaders across the county.
Do you think there's a perception still, a stigma surrounding, a career versus a job? Some folks will think of this as a trade. I think that's a word that's commonly used, but a career versus a job, when there are plenty of career opportunities for CTE and the things that you would learn, whether it's manufacturing, welding, construction, what have you. Those are often a great outlet to not only get started and get paid at a very early age, but to avoid accruing student loan debt that we've seen cripple so many Americans.
So I think we've done an incredible job over the last several years to change the perception of CTE and what you referred to, as those trade jobs. But I think the pandemic has shown us that more and more employers are having to be flexible in order to hire the right individuals for their organization. We've seen the Great Resignation, and many of those organizations are having to rethink their hiring practices. They're having to re-look at qualifications and maybe using job experiences in lieu of that degree, not just because of the cost that many individuals incur in getting that four-year degree, but also the time. And more businesses are looking at how they can attract individuals without having that four-year degree. That's not to say that a four-year degree or more is not still valuable, but we also have to acknowledge and demonstrate to our students that some of those certifications that you can get while you're still in high school will enhance your resume as you're looking to apply to colleges across the country. And I think that we also have to allow our CTE teachers to work more closely with our industry partners to see how we can share more information about what those jobs are. So many of our students don't have a clue what those jobs are, what the individuals do, and how well the pay is. And that is something that we have to step up in our communication.
Dr. Vasquez is making a really solid point. You can start with a CTE certification and continue to advance. All of our programs articulate to Valencia College in some way, shape, or form. But we did have a student from Jones High School last year who was in our first high school cohort of LPN students to graduate from Orange Technical College, who was going to leverage that license against medical school. So she could work in a hospital as an LPN while she pursued her college degree and continuing on into medical school. So, educating all of our stakeholders about the opportunities that exist will also help with that.
And while Orange Tech is training students for today's workforce, it's also preparing them for jobs that don't even exist yet. We'll discuss that and much more right after this. Stay with us.
This is The Weekly on ClickOrlando.com with Justin Warmoth.
Welcome back. Our guests this morning are Orange County Superintendent Maria Vasquez and Associate Superintendent of Career and Technical Education Melanie Stefanowicz as we learn more about the programs offered at Orange Technical College. There are so many opportunities with this, and so other than what we're doing today and talking about what this program can provide in the future, what other ways can you get the word out? Is it just, letting kids know in school, telling them, hey, this is an option for you to take seriously? Or, I mean, what's the best avenue to spread awareness about what this can provide?
So I think that's what we're working on with our continuum, is starting down at the elementary level to make sure that information is available to students. Another point is that it's not just our students that we have to do a better job of educating and sharing, but it's also our families. Many of them are not aware of the programs that are available to them. We were at an event last week in Lake Nona, and we had parents there, and they were not aware of some of those opportunities that are available to the students, including some of the job sharing and internships as a result of being able to engage in those certification programs. And we also have to work more with our guidance counselors so that when they are working with our students, they are sharing those opportunities. There's so much on our website that if students just went there and looked, they would be in awe of what is available at their fingertips.
So to clear up maybe a concern that a parent or guardian might have about their child going into a program like this, is that these programs, a myth would be that these programs only provide students with industry skills and not necessarily diving into that critical thinking. Can you debunk that myth for us?
Melanie, why don't you take that one?
I would definitely disagree with that statement, because when you get into the applied learning, it goes into all of the critical thinking skills, the problem solving skills, all the soft skills that industry is demanding. We do cover some theoretical in the work that we do, but it's largely applied. And so it's all problem-based, project-based learning that is truly driven by the hands-on competencies of the frameworks. So I would argue that perhaps that these would prepare students even more deeply and better than some other learning opportunities.
Is there a specific job in manufacturing that today's student, that you've been hearing from them that they're most interested in?
There are two. They are desperate need of welders. Okay. And some of the welders, some agencies are starting salaries anywhere between $60,000 to $90,000 a year.
Fresh out.
Fresh out if they have the skills, if they have the skills. And then CNC production operators, computer numeric control operators.
Yeah, that's certainly, would that be like code? What is that?
Yes, it is. Yeah. It's basic coding.
Yeah, that's certainly gauging interest with a lot of those kids, no doubt. I also want to, it's interesting you brought up welding, because I interviewed a gentleman who is very passionate about working alongside Orange Technical and making sure that he can provide those internships and spreading awareness to so many people, because he has such a shortage and a lot of his welders are older aged. And so as they get older, there's no one to fill those roles, and he's going to be left with, he doesn't know what. And so that's why I think this is so important to bring this to the forefront to our viewers. And a lot of these things as well, I don't know who wants to touch on this, but yes, there's training going along with jobs that are available today and jobs that, you can get today, but then there are aspects of the future that maybe these jobs don't exist yet. And so there's training going along with that, right?
Absolutely. We recognize that we not only have to prepare our students for the careers that are available now, but the careers of tomorrow. And that is going to require us to make sure our teachers and our schools have the technology and the resources needed to thrive. We need to look at more inclusion and equity as we are looking at the students within our programs. And we also have to take a look at our scheduling models. We have to be able to open up time to allow our students those opportunities for internships, for going out into the workforce and seeing what they've learned in the classroom applied at the work site.
Melanie, I'm curious. I know that we talked about the need for so many of these positions across tons of different industries, but if not for the pandemic, would this and the shortages and the Great Resignation and everything that followed suit, would this be something that a lot of kids or a lot more students would consider, or would it just be like it had been in the past?
My hope is it would be something that kids would consider, because we have, there's a population of students, I think, in that 18 to 24 range, right? We're trying to find them. If you look at the data, they're not necessarily found in employment, and they're not necessarily found in college. So, my goal would be, as we're helping our students reach the graduation, while we look for the kids that we can't find right now, or the young adults we can't find right now, how are we making sure that they have a deep awareness of all the options that are available to them so that they can make the right choice? And at the same time, if they choose a different path and go straight into work, how have we bridged the gap into those skills of the future, the problem solving, the critical thinking, the design thinking, the collaboration, the communication, that willingness to fail or make a mistake, learn from it, and keep charging forward. So we're looking at how we can start to embed what we call the CTE skills, in a broader way throughout our high schools, so our students have those as they enter the world.
Absolutely. We're running short on time, so I do want to end it with this. And this is both of you can answer. And I guess we'll start with Melanie. But if you had a message to parents, maybe they're skeptical about not attending four-year college or university, and that's what they want for their kids. Maybe this is a message for, their student. But what would that message be?
If you have any questions at all, reach out to us and come see our campuses. Meet our teachers and see the work that we do. I think that will sell itself.
Dr. Vasquez?
I think what I would say to the parents is that now more than ever, there are so many opportunities for your child to be able to have a career, and that we are willing and able to share with you all of those opportunities. Reach out to your school, go to your guidance counselor. Many our high schools have a career center, and as Melanie mentioned, also our Orange Technical Colleges.
And they have 5 locations in Orange County. For more information on the programs offered and how to enroll, we've posted a link for you on clickorlando.com/weekly. I'm Justin Mormith. Hope you have a great Sunday.